Hey, y'all, watch this.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jersey String Band Podcast, season number 2 kickoff. I'm your host, Alex Walton. We have
Captain Pat Walton.
and our very special guest today to kick it off is
Tim Burns from the Uptown String Band.
welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
having me.
for coming all the way down from Canada.
Yeah, basically.
The farthest north to the farthest south.
Yes.
Yes.
We are
So what if you guys are Canada? What are we?
Mexico?
We can't be. We're Jersey.
We're southernmost Canada.
We're south. Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
The Gulf of America? Or
Yeah, we can go that. We're not Texas.
All right, we've made it 30 seconds and I'll be canceled now.
Gulf.
So.
The
Yeah.
Gulf. Yeah, thank you for coming out. Congratulations on a great prize.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just talk about this year's effort and your feelings about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cliche, but it's a team. This is a team sport. We have some incredible committees that put everything together, presentation and music, the design aspects, everything was, it all kind of fell together. Coming out of Candy, we had, great success there. Obviously, Cade won first time captain, first place captain.
Yeah. Momentum. You guys
So
had
there
momentum.
was a lot of focus on the captain portion of it, and we made sure to kind of focus it around him in a sense. But it was a very fun day, and I give all the credit in the world to our committees, to the membership, to everybody involved really stepped up and gave 110% this year.
And it showed too.
Yeah.
It showed.
Yeah, it was a great show. You guys did an amazing job out there.
Thank you.
Like you guys, we were lucky enough last year to be face to face with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was really amazing watching your Candy show. And
The energy that Cade brought.
yeah, it was amazing. And just watching what I physically saw with my eyes, watching you perform, and then watching what's on TV. I mean, TV does an amazing job, but they just don't catch all the little details. And I'm sure there's a lot that I missed out of this year's show that unfortunately by nature of beast, it's hard to focus in on one thing
And I'll even go one further than that. I mean, there are things that happened in the show that now mind you, we start rehearsing our show, as I'm sure you guys do, in August, July, whenever it is we're starting. There are things that I saw happen on TV at the judges stand that I quite literally saw for the first time.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's you sometimes don't realize all of what's going on around you, being in the center of it. And you spoke to Cade. I call him a kid. I mean, he's a man now. I've known him since he was single digits. What you saw on TV, that is what he gives every single time, whether we're doing a parade in Hamilton in the rain or the judges stand.
That was fun last year. We did that together. I think we both rained on Saturday next to each
a
other.
little
in that
wet,
parking lot.
little wet, a little moist after that one. But
Yeah.
that is who he is. Who you see on TV. That's truly
He's a showman.
yes.
It shows.
And I have to give credit. I know I mentioned it to you beforehand. A couple days. The joke that I was telling everybody leading into New Year's Day was either we're going to have one of the coolest captain reveals ever, or we're going to drop our captain on his head. In hindsight, I probably should have knocked on wood a little more. About 2 or 3 days before New Year's, the harness that holds Cade in broke clear off the prop. And with the injury sustained, with everything going on, he's still got second place. So like I said, he's a trooper. He gives it all. I give him all the credit in the world. It's amazing, and it's not just him. He's the leader of the group. Pat, as I know, the captain is the one out front, but it's
He brings that,
infectious.
He brings that energy, and it's you feed off that energy. I know when I'm out front, I feed off the crowd, and they have to rein me in sometimes. And it's
Could
good.
be a little more energetic.
It's also, you got a 300-pound captain, so I mean, it is what it is. So I'm well aware of what my limitations are.
Well, you don't look a pound over 299. So
Oh well, thank you.
it's a slimming tie dye. I'll say
Yes,
that.
I love the tie dye. Yes,
No comment.
but it is what it is, and but you feed off the crowd, and I know I feed off the energy of the crowd, especially when there's, and I know you do too. But I mean, it's easier to do everything when you have someone with that much energy.
Yeah,
So,
and it's something that it's definitely a strength of ours in that captain position. Because if there's no energy in that captain position, if you don't have that presence, that personality, all that stuff, it's it can be done, but it's definitely a different show.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely, 100%. So, well, we spoke about Cade. Now, what about you? What is your role in the show? I know you're the drummer,
So
and you're
this
in
year,
percussion. So, what
Yep.
was your role in the whole production of the show this year?
So this year I was the snare drummer on the street. For the non-mum audience, generally speaking, you'll have a snare drummer and a bass drummer, and we stand together the whole time. And then behind us, a lot of times there's auxiliary percussion. Now we had 4 auxiliary percussion players, and hats off, props to them. They were at one point, I think Evan quite literally did a 40-yard dash from one side of the street to the other. And there's some footage
There's
of
footage
that
on
from-
YouTube.
So, the way that I've always been taught as a drummer in general is to drive the bus. I'm one of the few members of the band that quite literally plays all 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the routine. And one of the things I've learned from, drum mentors of mine, a gentleman by the name of Rich Cook, he was Uptown's drummer. He and I kind of traded off over the years, but he was in Uptown in 1956 when they won, and he marched with them. But one of the things that he kind of showed me how to do is to work the clock and work the time. That if you see the routines dragging, you could pick up a little bit and push the pace. If we've all drank too many Red Bull that day, well, if I've drank too many Red Bull that day to, take a step back. But I'm so honored to be in Uptown String Band. I'm proud to say that I'm in Uptown String Band, and it's a team effort.
Absolutely. And we all should be proud of everything we do. I mean, there's only 14 of us out there. And at the end of the day, you're one of 14 snare drummers. I'm one of 14 captains. So, and you guys have one of the hardest roles out of anybody in the band. You never get a break.
No.
Yeah.
Drummers are the ones that are expected to keep the street beat going. So, maybe they're not sitting there blowing the horn when it's 90 degrees, but everybody else gets to go. They're doing that, but they're still street beat, and they have to. And God forbid they miss a street beat or something like that.
Yeah.
Half the band, if not all, heads snap around quicker than anything
What was
else in
that?
the world.
We just made that joke at rehearsal. I think it was either this past week or the week before that. I kind of I've said it too, and I've told other snare drummers, if an alto sax stops playing, there's 9 more of them.
Yeah.
If Barry stops playing, there's 6 more of them.
Yeah.
If the snare player makes a mistake, everybody turns around, and it happened at rehearsal where I did something, I steamrolled through whatever it was, and it was one hit, one miss, and the whole band is.
Yeah, you throw the whole band off, and it's just,
Like stubbing your toe.
Right.
Yeah, and and you literally, it feels like the whole gears just lock up. It's just like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah, and it's you feel that New Year's Day too, and I'm sure Brandon, your snare drummer, feels the same way. And all the drummers on the street. I mean, it's if we make a mistake, there is no hiding the snare. Generally speaking, there's no hiding a snare mistake.
No.
So it's a lot of pressure, but it's a fun pressure.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you're the heartbeat of the band. you keep the band going, you keep it moving, and it's a very important job, and we can't do what we do without you. Realistically, I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty good that way.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, so you've been in it a while. Just give a little history on
Yeah. So
on you.
I originally joined in. My first day down the street was New Year's 2002. I was a marshal. An old childhood friend of mine literally came to my door in November and said, "Hey, we need help. You want to come to the Mummers?" After New Year's Day, I went to a couple rehearsals. I guess the rest was history. Ironically speaking, I found out after the fact that my dad was in the Mummers with all of his friends through high school and college. My grandfather on my mom's side was in the comic division way back in the day. So it wasn't technically a family thing, but it is. And now my wife marched with us for a few years. She played alto sax with us, and my 6-year-old daughter is dying to get on the street with us. She got to shoot confetti at the party afterwards. So,
Is she going to be a drummer?
I'd like her to be a musician as opposed to a drummer, but
Okay.
well, she wants to be. I told her when she can hold the drum up by herself, she can play drums. So she's dropped it once or twice trying that, but yeah, it's So I've been a steady member since 2002. Took a little time off in the middle, just life happens, work happens, things of that nature. But
But always been with Uptown?
yeah, always with Uptown. I never had the desire to go into the city, and that's not a dig on any band. It's just I've lived 5 minutes from the Uptown Clubhouse all my life. So, and I always tell Thor I'm the what do you need guy. It's
Right.
you need me to drum? Yeah, I'll drum. You need me to play sax? Well, I'll play some sax. You need me as a mark? I'm cool with that too. It's I love this hobby and I love what we do so much that I just what do you need?
Yeah.
Right.
And you need, and those are the unsung heroes that, a lot of times people don't know who they are, but they're the ones that are always, oh, I need this, or hey, we're going to, you mind dropping by and grab this, or can you grab this? And it's such an important part to have, and every band has that.
And Uptown, admittedly, Uptown has quite a few. What do you need? We have a man behind the scenes award every year, and I feel so horrible because I forget exactly who it was. I want to say it was either Devin Hinman or Rob Flagg, one of the two. But two perfect examples of just they just do. There's no pomp and circumstance. There's no bring the camera crew. It's just people just do. And Uptown is so much.
And that's awesome because just to not be able to remember who it was tells you how much both of them do. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a dig that you don't remember.
Yeah.
It's just they both are basically interchangeable because they do so much.
Yeah.
And you notice that when they don't do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
certainly.
When they can't be there for some odd reason.
For some reason.
It's it's definitely noticeable for sure. And especially for us, we're a smaller band, so we kind of thrive on those people a little bit.
Yeah.
You rely on them.
Oh yeah, certainly. And
Sometimes you feel a little bad about it, but it's
so I would respond to that with you'd feel bad about it, and then you see that they're not doing it because they feel forced to do it. They're doing it because they enjoy doing it.
it.
Oh yeah. We had one of our marshals, Glenn. He fell and got hurt literally one of our last rehearsals. He was bending down to pick up something and he lost his balance, fell, and he's had to go get surgery for a broken bone. So
Broken hip.
He broke his hip.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So the fall was just the final straw. There was things there going on before, but we miss him. We haven't seen
we know
him
Glenn.
since.
We know he's watching because
We know he watches because he watches everyone. And
Shout out to Glenn.
He's going to see this because he's always the first one to comment.
Yeah.
And he's commenting as he's watching. So
Yeah.
Well, we
know
appreciate
he's
you,
going to
Glenn.
watch
Thank
him,
you.
Glenn. So we miss
Absolutely.
you. And he's hoping to make it out to our open house coming up here on the
Okay.
19th. So I'm really hoping he can be there. But he's one of those guys that he goes and picks people up. Picks up our bass drummer, picks up a couple of horn players. He never doesn't have to.
He just does.
He just does. And it's not like he has to drive farther away than, I mean, it'd be easier from just to come from his house to here, but he's literally going 3 times as far as he has to go pick people up. And they live literally the same distance either way from his house.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, he goes out of his way to pick people up and get up, and we miss that.
Yeah.
So, and I know they miss that. So,
Yeah,
it's
we
just-
have so many people that do.
Yeah.
Again, if I
But
were
every
sitting here
band
and
has
list
that.
names, it's
Yeah.
but it's just it. And this year specifically, there's been a lot of people that really stepped into roles that maybe hadn't before, or just I can't think of one person or organization that didn't give everything they have to give this year, and that's I credit our placement, I say our 4th place because.
well, listen, it's something.
Like
to
I
be very,
said,
it's listen.
Are we 11th?
Fourth place is amazing.
Right.
I mean, that's. It's the highest prize you guys had in years.
But that's-
It's your highest prize
Yes.
ever. We got 12th this year. That was the highest prize I've ever gotten in this. So I'm ecstatic for
Yeah.
that. And I can and I know how I feel about that. And we're growing. You guys have been.
We just gotta stay there.
You guys have been where we were.
Right.
Where we are. And you are continuing to grow. and you're-
Everybody's been.
And
there.
yeah.
There's not a single band in this organization, in this association, that can say we've always been what we are. We've always been, whoever it may be, whatever it may be. There's no organization out there that can say that. And to your point about our placement, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure the mum freaks are going to correct me on this, for Uptown, 4th place is the highest place we've had since 1992. I believe it was our Paris theme that got 3rd. I'm sure Thor's pulling his hair out right now.
Oh, I didn't do my research on that. Sorry.
But
Usually I do.
our
Yeah,
points,
Alex usually has all this.
the amount of points that we were awarded is the most, I want to say, since 76 or 77 when we won the parade. But yeah, fourth is the highest prize I personally have ever.
That goes back to what you just said. Everybody was all in,
Right.
And
Yeah. And you guys were all in on one goal.
Yeah.
And
I've
Having a
been
goal-
saying all year to us,
watch you guys.
huh? No,
No. I've been.
It's funny because we've been saying that about you guys.
Well,
Of, hey, look what
so-
Jersey's doing.
yeah. So no, I was always effort equals results.
Yes.
That's what that was my theme for this year for the band.
So
And that's you. I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park.
The phrase that Thor always uses, and it's in all of his emails. It's he's always saying it at rehearsals, and it's true. It's a first place mentality.
Yeah.
You can come in. There could be 14 bands, and you could come in 15th. If you have a first place mentality, you give it everything you have, and you just leave it on the street. You quite literally can't do any more than that. So we are always saying to each other, first place mentality.
and that means you've won.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We're the
that's-
best. We are the most awarded and top ranked mummers organization in all of Bucks County. We are the only mummers organization in Bucks County.
We're right there with you with Gloucester County.
Yeah.
well,
Darning is Camden County.
is it?
It's Camden
Oh,
County.
it is Camden.
Gloucester City's Camden County.
I always got that.
I'm pretty sure I passed every single band on the way down here. So
We're the farthest south.
who's
south-
exit 0 at the shore? Cape May?
That's Cape May.
You're
But-
Cape May. Exit 0. You're the last one before you hit the ocean.
Yeah, but there is. Cape,
but there's a Cape May
Cape
string
May-
band.
There's a Cape May band down the shore.
You're South Cape May. I don't know. We're spitballing here. Help me out.
We can't be South Jersey because there used to be a South Jersey string band.
Yeah.
Although
I
people
just
call
like
us South Jersey.
Everybody
string
calls
band.
us Jersey. Jersey City's another one we get called.
I'll admit to when you guys came up to our bingo at one point, I was saying Jersey City for probably an hour, and I think it was actually Thor. He pulled me aside. He goes, "Dude, it's Jersey," and I'm like, "Yeah, Jersey City." He goes, "No,
Just
Jersey," and I
just
felt
Jersey.
So bad.
Just Jersey.
I want to make a T-shirt that says just Jersey. But no, I mean I'm watching your guys' performance this year. I'm like, if that's not a top 5 performance, then something's wrong.
Thank you,
And then
we appreciate
and then
that.
the results come out, and
Yeah.
I was pleasantly.
And then the Facebook comments came out, and those are always fun to read.
We're
So
gonna leave that behind
Well, I
for many different reasons.
I try not to read a lot of the comments on there unless they're directly like a thank you. Like The DMs are more what I'll read than I do the direct comments or anything like that. Or if I'm personally tagged, I'll read something like that. But for the most part, I don't look at the comments because unfortunately, there's too many negative ones.
I'll look at the comments for our stuff, and I'm not afraid to delete them.
Right.
Because I have that power.
See, I'm one of those. I'm the kind of person, I'll say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Alex, you and I have talked about this. I'll do it politely. I'll do it professionally, but I'll give credit where it's due, positive and negative. If you want to play F around, I'll be the one to let you find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to look at because if you look at all the comments, there's too much negativity out there, and we all work too hard
Right.
for that, and we know what we put in, and we all make sacrifices to do what we do, and I wouldn't change anything that we do, and I love every minute of it, and I mean I was almost depressed after New Year's because it's just like. After your body recovers and you can actually sleep at a normal schedule, you're not that 3 hours of sleep.
Right.
It's like, okay, it's Saturday. What do I do now? There's no
there's
parades,
no prop buildings.
There's no props to build. I'm not really taking anything else apart. Let's go for a ride. It's just, it's just one of those things. And now we're at the point now where themes are submitted. Mm-hmm. Our order of march is for 26 already picked, and we're a little 330 days until New Year's, and
now it's go time
now
again.
it's time to let's go, and the excitement is already building. So
speaking of 2026, you guys are doing a Hollywood theme.
We are.
That should be fun. I mean, you guys, last couple of years, it's been interesting to kind of see how you guys,
we're very excited about this one. We sat down last night and we had a rehearsal last night, and the theme committee, presented it out to us. I mean, obviously things still flowing, things still being figured out, as I'm sure you guys are as well.
Yep.
I'll give you the exclusive summary of what I know and what I have ready to go. We are doing a Hollywood theme. So we're going to be playing, music related to Hollywood. The costumes are going to be generally in a Hollywood-esque theme.
Like the
it's
golden
gonna be,
age of Hollywood?
It'll be Hollywood, and it'll be about 4.5 minutes long.
Can't say.
And we're going to perform it on January 1st, 2026.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I may be the first one to have said publicly what our theme is for 2026. So there you go.
Oh, Hollywood, huh?
Hollywood.
Oh, okay, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood-esque.
Esque, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Hollywood. Canadian Hollywood.
There's a couple different Hollywoods.
Florida, Hollywood.
Hollywood, Florida?
Dollywood.
No, that's a different theme. You can't go that route.
Yeah.
That's changing the theme. You got to stay with Hollywood, but you didn't. I mean,
balloons.
Yeah, Florida,
Anyhow.
Hollywood, Florida would be okay. There's a casino there, I think.
Yeah,
There's a Hollywood casino. Yeah.
There's a Hollywood casino.
What I will say is the
I got
way
cards.
the theme committee put it together and the way that it's been presented thus far, I don't think you've seen this theme before.
It's good.
We're at a point now where almost every theme has been done in some
Oh yeah.
You need to have some
iteration.
sort of. Yeah.
It's been 125 years, so it's
Oh, yeah.
But I personally believe this version of this theme. There's
Well, there's
it's
so many
something
different
new.
ways you can do it, and even doing your theme the way you want to do it,
Right.
someone can do it another way, So, I mean, Fralinger did it a couple years ago where they did the black and white one, which was which was a really unique way of looking at things, which I thought was kind of cool.
And in a couple years, we'll either throw Haunted or Zombie on it and reinvent the whole thing.
I was now hold
Good
on.
to go.
With all the themes that have been announced, I know there's still one band that has yet to officially submit a theme, or at least been publicly announced yet. Were you shocked that there's no Haunted themes?
Yes and no. I almost feel like the Haunted / zombie / whatever you want to call it
Dead.
theme. It's almost
played itself out.
we've got the Mummers meme page, and I feel like the Haunted zombie thing. It's almost to the point where it's not even funny anymore that it happens so often.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it's
We've
impressive.
had
that
dead
it hasn't
pirates.
happened.
We've had dead. I mean, we've had it all. Obviously, this year. It's.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool.
I'm
when
kind of not surprised. I was
Yeah,
kind of figuring no one would really touch that just because of
I was,
some issues,
I
but
mean, there's so many themes out there that can be done, and it's just, I'm kind of glad that we're not doing something like,
Yeah.
To me, a dead theme is dark.
It gets old. I mean, it's some cool. We did a zombie theme in 2019.
That was different. That was actually kind of like,
right, but
that
it
was almost
wasn't
like video games.
It wasn't, and again, not to dig on anybody that's done this, but it wasn't Dead Cowboys. It wasn't Dead this, Dead. It was just Dead. It was Walking Dead. We used the theme from The Walking Dead in the middle of it.
Yeah, but you got to also remember, Walking Dead was huge then. So
Oh my
you were
gosh,
living off of what was pop culture at the time, and it's big, and you took advantage of it. No different than like Quaker did the basically Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, smart.
And that was a perfect way to do it. South Philly did the same thing previously, so with the Pirates. So that's a good thing there. But it's only so many times you can do the same theme over and over again. And there was a lot of different themes this year. Themes that are going to be unique.
Yes.
Which I did like. Outside the box. There's no clowns this year. There's no pirates this year. I mean, something that are usually like staples of the Mummers world.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that we moved away from that a little bit.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
It's just, how many times can you do pirates?
There are definitely a few that I'm interested to see the interpretation of them, because there's a few themes out there that I see the general name and I think to myself, okay, immediately I can think of the hokey cheesy way to do the same 8-9 songs that everybody's done with that, but the bands over the years have just stepped up in such a way creatively that you almost can't recycle a theme anymore, because if you recycle an old theme and try to do, I want to say early to mid 2000s, where you were just seeing, it was every other year you were getting a pirate theme, every other year you're getting a cowboy theme, you're getting a hobo theme,
Yeah.
Bands have really, really stepped up, and I give you guys all the credit in the world for as far as you've come, as quick as you've come, because there are bands out there that have been around literally since the inception of the parade, 120. I think Woodland is 100 years this year, right?
100 years, yeah.
You guys, as Jersey, have been around for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. This is year 6.
And I mean, the strides that have been made and the things that have been done, it's incredible. It really is. But that goes to all the bands. Everybody has.
Well, you step it up every year, and we live in a day and age where we can go back and watch everybody's routine over and over again, and you can pick up and learn from each other. And we're doing very well of learning off of each other, which has helped growing the whole parade. We're seeing what works and what doesn't work, and having the unique views that we all have now. We're very lucky that way.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to grow.
Yeah. So I'm curious to try something. I brought something with me.
Okay.
Pat, you don't know about this.
Well, I got.
You got more?
I got something else I
All
want.
right, well then I won't.
Before we.
I'll hold on to my idea. See that? Little teaser there.
Little teaser, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So, I had talked to some of the boys, and they wanted me to ask you about your Milwaukee tool set.
No idea what you're talking about. By advice of counsel, I invoke my right.
I think they said that you would say that.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
First of all, why?
Hold on. Are you talking to? I'm guessing you're talking to boys at Uptown, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I didn't know if you're talking about our boys that are, our Fab Five.
No.
I wonder how they had involvement with that.
I'm trying.
There was a couple There's a couple Radcliffes in there.
Yeah. So for Christmas this year, I don't ever buy myself anything. And anytime I do, my wife is amazing, because she'll be like, just like go get something for yourself. You never do, because I get for her, I get for my daughter, I get mostly for my daughter, as anybody with kids knows. That's what you do. And I've been complaining about my tools for probably 2 or 3 years with finishing our basement recently, and I went to go put something up at the house, and there was this box sitting where I was about to go work, and my wife bought me a new Milwaukee drill set, and now Kate and I are talking about all the red tools and all the there's not that this is sponsored. I mean, I'm cool to get sponsored by Milwaukee, but they make everything.
They do.
Oh yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's what I have. That's what I use too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all my Milwaukee tools are in our storage unit
Yeah.
right now.
I have the 2 drills and then I have the multi-tool at the moment, but it's growing. So,
It'll easily M12s.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
fuel or
M12,
the fuel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
I-
yes.
the-
The
the-
brushless ones are nice.
The first time I went to use the hammer drill, I almost went straight through the.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You gotta adjust.
Alex knows because Alex just screw. All right, hold on, not that.
And
hard,
now I'm
but
through the wood to the other side.
Yeah. I was.
especially when you're going through fairing strips.
I came
There's not much
to
there.
Kate as if I'd had a newborn. I'm like, oh, dude, look at the pictures. The tools and.
They wanted me to, because they know you like talking about it, so they
I
wanted
haven't
me.
talked about it in a couple of weeks.
They
but
wanted me to
I'll bring
give
it
you
up
the
again.
opportunity to talk about it on the podcast. And I got one more question from them. They want to know what kind of hair product do you use, and is it petroleum based to keep that hair up?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
As far as petroleum based, I don't know. I've been using the same gel since like high school. I think it's called Got to Be. It's in a yellow container. I use about this much of it each time. So like I buy a container this size and it lasts me for like 2 years. I don't really. When
Well, you're all
I was in high
clean-shaven
school, I was
outside.
nuts. I went through all kinds of hair colors. I went through hairstyle. We did grease my junior year in high school, and I actually grew the hair all the way. I'll see if I can.
So we might have to borrow some for this year.
I'd be happy to help. I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, I might need to get some hair though first.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean-
talking to 2 guys who have hair problems.
could you do like the kind of grow it out and bring it forward?
I'm not
thing?
doing a flop over. No.
He would have to like start like
No, and
last year.
here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. I have naturally curly hair, so as you can probably see, it's starting to puff out a little bit
Yeah.
on the sides. As it will continue, it will just sit there and curl. So I go get my hair cut, and if there's any like, I wish I had curly hair like that. I go, I'll give it to you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's not much left, so
Yeah.
you might as well donate.
We always make the jokes on New Year's Day. There's a few of us that we all have a beard in some capacity. I mean, mine goes out in whatever it might be. Seth, same thing. His is just, it's a very thick, dark beard. Evan, one of our aux drummers, and every year on New Year's, we all kind of walk into each other and just, it's like a beard support group. We all kind of go in, we all hug each other. But Seth and I, our beard, we're very fortunate. Our beards grow very quickly. So it's like January 1st, clean shaven. January 2nd, about this, give or take. So it's like,
I hated doing it this year. I hated
Oh,
it.
we had it. We yeah. You should have saw everybody's face when I said you got to shave everything off.
Then I
What?
see people coming mustache. I was like, I didn't. You said all shaved the whole thing. I'm like,
I
our
needed to shave
our
clean.
drill director Josh, I always give him such a hard time. I look at him and go, I'm getting a mask this year? No, you're doing makeup. It's gonna have a beard on it, right? No, you gotta shave the beard off. No, I think you'd have a beard on. I think we'd have a beard on. I've been
That's the joys of
begging.
doing of.
I was fortunate enough to the last time we had a shave was the baby year, in 20 what was that 16, 17? I can't remember what year, but anyhow, 18, whatever the coldest that cold ass
18.
18.
Yeah,
And it's
My
And I
last-
had-
it was
and I
my
had a
last year's
shave,
Captain
so-
of Broomall.
yeah.
yeah.
And
was fun.
20, so it was interesting because 2023, our jungle year, I had to shave. We had the crazy, I was the gorilla, so we had the crazy makeup, all the kind of stuff. My daughter was born December 1st, 2018. So 2019, I had helped the band, but I was home with her on New Year's Day. 2020, I was a marshal. 21, some kind of mix-up. 2022, we had the masks for the scarecrow. So 2023 was the first year since she'd been born that I had to shave my face.
She never
So I grew it out for like 2 months ahead of that and effectively went to the bathroom, shaved everything off, and came down, and I looked at her and she goes, "You look funny." Okay, thank you. So yeah, we don't, and my wife's reaction is always like, "So is this a thing now, or are you?"
no.
Yeah. I'm about 30 pounds from having a clean shaven face anymore. So, but
Yeah.
it's fun,
Well,
and it's not that much. I don't gel my hair that bad. High school was bad. I'll fully admit, but I'm gonna need to go talk to the boys when I get back to Uptown and find
Full
out.
slick back, the whole nine
Yeah,
yards.
I'll see if I can send you a picture. I think I have a.
Yeah, text me on
Side profile,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Tuesday night when
Yeah.
when
I'll
you
go, I'll go
get
find
hold of
out.
them.
So, am I allowed to bring out my special
Yeah,
Mousket tool?
you're surprised.
So, you don't know about this, and it's not anything against you by any means.
That's
so,
fine. It's all right, Jake. I mean, I'm just here.
Up at Uptown, we had a bit of a podcast for a little while.
Yes.
We had done a couple of guests, this, that, and the other. Life took over, time took over. Things happen. Alex, I give you all the credit in the world for what you guys have done down here. I mean, the social media is off the chart. And I'm going to use my Uno reverse card, and I want to switch with you. I'd like for you to be the guest, because there's so much that you have done and that you are doing that needs to be recognized.
Okay.
So do we have to can we?
Yeah,
you tell me.
We'll switch spots here. You don't have to put this on.
I'll put this on top of the camera flags.
So is it me and you interviewing Alex? Okay, good. That works for me.
Okay.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
So
Oh, you kept it nice and warm for me over
see
here.
that? Yeah. So welcome back to the Jersey podcast. My name's not Alex Walton.
Well, now it's the Uptown String Band podcast.
Yeah,
No,
so-
it can't be, 'cause
No,
I'm still here.
Nope, we're
Oh.
still down here.
Okay.
I'm like the Jersey proxy, so to speak.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So introduce yourself, please.
They're tired of hearing from me. That's what
Yeah,
they tell me.
we're
to
not
say.
say I'm the host.
So, my name is Tim Burns. I'm from the Uptown String Band. I am sitting in as host today. I am joined by
Captain Pat Walton,
and
Jersey String Band.
today on his own podcast of his own creation, we have
Alex Walton, banjo player, social media guru for Jersey String Band.
Guru, wow.
the
The
What do you want
props, the props of
Do you want me to be
Guru.
guru? Do you want to be publicity director? Do you want to be
Well,
social
I
media
would say,
director?
I would say social media director.
Okay, I'm not.
Publicity director.
I will say that couch is a lot more comfortable than this chair.
Yeah, you slide forward.
Yeah,
a little
there's-
bit.
Slide
I feel like I'm
forward.
going to do one of these out of it.
Oh yeah, and if you push back too far, you will.
Yeah.
The feet will go up.
So,
What you got,
Alex,
Tim?
I said it just a minute ago. I right off the front, I don't want it to be lost in tape. You guys on your social media have done such an incredible job.
Hold on.
Thank you.
He has done an amazing job. Not you guys. He has.
We're getting there.
I give him the credit on that.
He's doing that. I'm taking it.
So
Take it all.
I always know that there are, it takes a village, and I've seen some of Brandon's
Yeah.
reels and the videos too. I've learned
Yep.
words that even I didn't know exist. Some of the
Even they don't even know.
yeah, no, and it's funny. So how forget for a second, the mummer history, the string band history with regard to the social media. You guys are a very young band. You've only been around a number of years. What got you into the social media aspect, and how is it that you developed and that you continue to develop, what you've done and what you're doing moving forward?
Well, for a short time at the end of Broomall, I started their pages on Instagram and Facebook, and then I just wanted to kind of continue that. I mean, I was kind of limited with the Broomalls, but now I figured I can have a little more leeway with being. I mean,
Well, and also
Kind of a big deal.
kind of a big deal, right?
But also at that time, when we first started with the Broomall pages, I was also running I was the chairperson for the social media page for the association. And the one thing we didn't have, I just got control of the association pages. It was handed over to me from a couple different people. It had Tom Loomis, a couple people. I kept it going. And Alex was one of the people I brought in to help out with that. We had a couple other bands. Uptown was one of them. Aqua was another one, and then we kept it going and got things moving. So, but Alex took over from there, and then he moved forward with that. And when we started Jersey, he was given the reins and go, do your thing.
yeah. I mean, listen, we were brand new, right? And I kind of wanted to to get that out, get our name out there, and that's what it's been about the whole. I mean, even doing this podcast, to get our name out there and get people kind of understanding who we are and where we come from. Yeah, okay, we're not Broomall anymore. We're Jersey String Band, and if I can have a little fun with it, if I can make us look good, then I'm happy with it, and I know I come up with some crazy ideas, and at jobs I'll go up to, hey, say this, and then
Yeah, he usually gets me when I'm middle doing something, so I look like a deer in headlights every time he gets me.
and it's
and
gold.
and it's just like,
It's like I struck gold.
say why.
I say that's some of the best
Why?
content. It was you just shove a camera in somebody's face and go, say something.
Now sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes things don't work out, and
Oh God, West Cape May.
West, yeah,
That was
we
hard.
had a whole thing. It was kind of an inside joke, but it just didn't work out. I don't know. Something happened with the
mic
microphone
didn't
that we
work. The
got.
mic didn't work.
Wound
We
up,
got the recording of it.
got the
It looks
recording of it.
good.
Looks
There's
good, but
no
can't hear
volume.
us.
We should do. Why don't we do like the old kung fu movies where the lips are
Oh,
moving, but it's like
yeah.
the man overdubs and stuff. Like you're talking
Well-
while he's doing the voiceover,
Yes.
and
Well, so
Blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
No.
so a lot of things that we post and the content that I just kind of, I guess I may be telling my secret here, but I kind of look at sports teams and some professional pages that what they're doing, and I kind of not copy, but I kind of just take from it and kind of make it our own.
yeah, and I mean it's showing. You're getting the engagement, you're getting the clicks. I mean, I'm glued to your stuff when it happens.
Listen,
Really am.
since I've been able to go to the association meetings and I've been able to kind of, know more people within the string bands, I mean, that's the number one thing. Well, when's the podcast? Like, when's the podcast coming out? Who's on the next one,
Yeah.
And really, I brought the podcast up to the band I guess this time
About
last
About a year
year.
ago.
And everybody's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I want to do it. And then you ask someone, and they're like, oh, that's not really for me. But then you get people like Scott Ratsky had contacted me. He's like, dude, I want to come on. Really? Okay, sure.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And then that kind of led to everybody else that's not in our band coming on. So it kind of evolved into what it is now. I still want to have. Thanks for that.
I tried.
He moved.
I still want to. I
give
still
it
want
to
to. I still want to have our members on. But if I can get different members like yourself, Cade came on last year. I had Sammy on. Scott, Sean Blueball. I'm gonna miss somebody there, but we already have a bunch of people lined up. Nick Magent, yeah, Nick.
Austin.
Austin. was on
Speaking
there.
of new captains,
Yes.
we had the rookies on.
That was important for me to get them on, and then have a rookie captain that just did the unthinkable.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And to have that group and to kind of understand.
That was so much fun with Keith.
Yeah, to understand where their thinking was, and really where they came from. So that's really what this was all about. A positive within the mummers, because we all know that there's those bad eggs
Yep.
that make it look disgusting. But if I can bring that positivity to what we do, whether you want to call it a hobby, whether you want to call it a lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, that's really the goal of what our social media is. It's fun, it's happy. So yeah.
And with regard to the association, if I'm not mistaken, you've, I don't want to say taken on a new role because I don't know the specifics, but what would you say your involvement in the association is now? Not only from a social media standpoint, but just in general. I know we had talked a little bit about this before.
Yeah, Sammy had come to me actually at the end of last year, and actually, I guess I kind of said something to him too. If I could be any help in any way, I would love to help out some way. Then he come back to me. He said, "Would you want to be a co-chairman on the? He's thinking about bringing back the social media committee." I said, "Absolutely." So it's me and TJ,
Who?
TJ Ferry.
Is he that new guy?
Yeah, he's the new guy.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
new guy.
for
Nobody
those.
knows. Nobody knows. TJ. Yeah.
You know, and you know, with this past weekend, just seeing what he was doing on his end, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, TJ is. He's. I mean, we actually play a couple of his arrangements. One of his arrangements was ours.
Yeah, we do
too.
And I mean, it's a goofy arrangement. I've told him that, but it's. I mean, the talent on him is just it's insane.
It's
amazing. Yeah, so I'm excited to work with him, and you know, like I said, the whole idea too is have some sort of fresh idea on what social media can be for the string bands and the association. Some new content, some stuff we haven't seen before, possibly, and then of course I reached out to Devin, and I think Sarah from Furco. I can't remember her last name. Starts with a W. But I think
she's actually a camp counselor at my kids' camp.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing a blank on the name. Her brother's in the band too.
Yeah. So so I believe they're going to be a part of this committee as well.
So it's a young committee then. I think to your credit, you know, hearing who you've reached out to, and not that older people can't be a part of it, but it's definitely, I don't want to say it's a young person's game, but it certainly takes a certain type of energy and a certain type of personality to make that work.
Right.
And I think you've proven that here at Jersey. That
it's good to have those brand new ideas.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm not completely up to trends, because speaking with our Gen Z members, I'm like, what? Some of the things I'm like, what are they doing? What?
Yeah, social media is constantly changing, and if the younger you are, the more you know what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, I still have a good feel about what's out there and what the association could look like, their pages, and so.
And I think your overarching theme sounds like, you know, we always want to have the best light possible on what we do and how we do it. There's, you know, if you Google Philadelphia Mummers, it's never the charity that comes up first. It's never, you know, it's always there's other things that come up. There are things that have happened, you know, and we've been around for 125, 126
That's really the
years.
goal. That's really the ultimate goal, is to
show our growth.
Show that we're good people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Majority.
The other 364 days of the year, you know, it's you know, and a lot of people have this perception of mummers in general. It's you know, they see it on TV, they see it for a few hours, and that's what they see. What they don't see is everything else.
And listen, you're Uptown. We know we're Jersey. Quaker knows they're Quaker, but those people on the side, they don't know who's from who, because I get to how many times you probably get it too when you're on the parade route and what's your what band are you? Yeah. What band are you? So I think our heads get a little ballooned sometimes, and we just kind of have to, you know, look outside of that, and people just want to see us having fun.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, I get people that I get the full spectrum of it, where you get people that aren't from around here, and it's, you know, what is a mummer, and you're sitting there like, well, you know. Well,
so to speak to that, that's another neat thing about doing all this, is because you see comments from just like, oh, you know, we're watching from the United Kingdom. Yeah. United Kingdom? What? I've never been overseas. You know, I'm from California. You know, I'm from here or there, all over the world. And then then they watch you. You know, they're waiting for you on New Year's Day to post your performance or whatever, and then they just love it.
Yeah. And I can even speak to that when we New Year's morning, we did a couple videos where it's, you know, here's how to watch, or here's what we're doing, just quick hit stuff, just like you guys have done, where it's this and that. And then, you know, I go back a few minutes later, look at some of the comments. It's watching from Washington State, and I'm looking at my watch, thinking to myself, well, it's 4 a.m. out there. So have you not gone to bed, or did you wake up to see us? You know, but what I love about what you guys are doing is, not only are you putting the positive light on it, but it's the other 364 days of the year. Not just prep for the show, not just the internal workings, but, you know, what do we do? How do we do?
Yeah.
Where are we? How can you contact with us?
Yeah.
And I know that a bunch of mummers are on Spotify now.
Yeah, I just put our podcast on there too. So
Good. Yeah, and it's really incredible. So, taking a step back for a second, about you, kind of like Captain Pat said there for a minute. How did you get into this crazy this lifestyle of ours?
well, I think we've kind of touched on it before, but I mean, if we really want to go back, let's go back to New Year's. Every New Year's Day, we used to go to our grandparents, who literally lived right up the street here, and the tradition was to eat roast pork and sauerkraut
And dumplings.
and we may have had kibasi or whatever other kind of, but that was always the good luck charm for the year. And then on their wooden TV,
You know the
thing that
old
they
TVs
used to have?
that had the
Yeah.
record player in the top, and
that's what they had, and that's what we
the
watched.
drink cart on the other side that we were never allowed in. Because
That's what we
didn't know
watched.
That was what's over
the
there.
string. Everybody, we had to go in the room, watch the string bands. And the one thing I vividly remember about watching the string bands is like I don't remember names. I don't remember this, that, or the third. But like I remember seeing, the quality back then, just the shimmer
Right.
of the
mirrors.
sequence.
Yeah.
It kind of like did this little streak across the that old tube.
The camera
TVs.
couldn't, between the camera and the TV itself, when it got hit with a bright light like that.
It kind of did like this
It
little
didn't-
streak, or
yeah.
didn't. That's what I vividly remember from that. And then so, I think my grandfather had maybe Polish American come over for
Yes.
one of my grandmother's birthdays, and perform. Do like a little combo job. And then so fast forward to 2013. My brother Chris had called me up. Chris was Dr. Evil this year, for anybody watching. And he's a banjo player. He's like, yeah, you want, Broomall string band, whatever. Do you want to come help push a prop or whatever? I'm like, I guess. Sure. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Why not? Picks me up. Of course, I don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I helped move Broomall down it was a doctor's year.
Yep.
And then from there, Pat got involved the next year, or maybe that was it. No, maybe the next year.
Yeah, because that was the last show of shows at the at down Atlantic City. They had us come downstairs for the I guess the pre-party and after party.
Yeah.
We came downstairs before the event, and then we went back upstairs, watched the event, and then we came downstairs. And my son, who's our bell player, they brought him over and like, here, try this. And
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, we were at rehearsal, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So then, I was a marshal for a handful of years, and I can't even remember my first year playing. Now I got to look at that. But I just kind of picked up banjo. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I've made it a conscious effort to learn everything I possibly can, and now I'm one of our top banjo player. I don't know top, but whatever you want to.
He's
But,
our front. He's one of our frontliners. I use him for. He keeps the band lined up behind me.
So
With being a small band,
if
we
you
don't
ever see
normally
us-
have someone in front of the band. So other than
yeah.
myself,
So if you ever see us out at one of the parades, I'm usually on the
It's on
the
my
far left side.
If I'm seeing you at a parade and I'm on the sidelines, there's a conversation that needs to be had.
Okay.
Well, more than likely, if you are on the sidelines, it's because we're in front of you in that parade.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So you mentioned your brother Chris, Pat, your son. It sounds like a family affair. So
Yeah, my parents are in it.
so
too.
take me through that. Who how many Waltons have kind of invaded the mummer space at this point?
6 or 7. How many? My 2 kids have come out and worked parades. I
Well, let's see
can't
here.
get them to come out for anything. But sometimes they do, and then my mom usually bribes them with, Philly
Your mom
Philly
is
Pretzel Factory or
your
whatever.
mom is a sweetheart,
Yeah.
by the way. I love having you guys at our bingo events. Your mom's an absolute doll. So
Yeah. No, we're extremely lucky to have
Oh,
her.
she's the first one to brag on
Oh,
us.
she'll be. She's recruiting everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
But my mom, my dad, my mom's is our sergeant at arms, so she's in charge of all of our memberships and all that stuff and drive there. My dad plays banjo. Both my brothers play banjo. Obviously, I'm captain. My oldest son is our bell player. My youngest son was one of the henchmen this year. This is his second time or third time.
7 of us.
So that's performing. That's performing.
right.
Yeah.
My youngest son's fiance was a marshal. My Chris's wife was a marshal.
Mm-hmm.
His 2 boys were marshals this year. So we'll be at 11.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what we had on the street this year. My oldest son's girlfriend was here, helping set up for food. So the whole family's involved some way or other. We all have different levels of involvement because of what we have in our in our life. Alex is more involved these last 2 years because of work situation. Before he worked second shift, so he was never.
Yeah.
So so
Kind of when
it
we
works
do
there.
everything.
But I made sure I made pretty much all the jobs.
Yeah, he made every job. He was here for every weekend rehearsal. The Wednesday nights, he just when you work till 11 o'clock at night, it's kind of hard.
Or later.
So well, when you're scheduled to get off at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm married to a veterinarian, so believe me, I know what a 7 o'clock end time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means you're going to bed
but
by
yeah,
yourself.
I mean, there's a lot of Waltons in this band. But we're
not related to any other Waltons. See, that's
Yeah, we're not related to the other Waltons
Really?
that are in like Avalon, although we call each other cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, we joke
I mean, if
around
you
with
go
that.
back far enough, we're all cousins. But,
Yeah, we're
know.
all related there somewhere or another. But yeah, no, our family's heavily involved in the band, but we're not the only family like that.
Right.
We have 3 generations.
Mm-hmm.
There's other bands, the Ericksons, they're 3 generations.
Yep.
The Capolas are 2 generations.
On Uptown, we have, we've had the Caldwell dynasty.
Yeah.
We've had the Radcliffe dynasty. Past, 5 or 6 years or so, I believe about 5-ish years. The Moyers have been a very heavy. So it's. I always love seeing the family doing it, and
Yes.
I love to see the younger people getting into it. So, like, Alex, your kids, my daughter, Ryan Radcliffe has 2 young daughters that are actually about my daughter's age, and now the Caldwells are spawning more kids. So it's like there's this whole generation coming up behind us, and
You got to encourage the young. You got to encourage the young.
I don't know how your kids kind of view it, but I know that, like, when my daughter's around, I mean, you can't tell her anything when she's at Mummers. That's where she wants to be.
Hard.
It's what she wants to do.
It's hard. My kids don't want to be a part of it.
But
Fortunately,
but the
I
other-
wish they did because they're talented. They
Right.
can
Oh,
they
yeah.
can do they're
They
in
both
plays and
performed in
stuff
a
like
play.
that.
They're
and
amazing.
my daughter dances and sings, and
It's just nice to see the younger generation, and even when I say younger, I talk about the teenagers. I mean, Uptown has always said we're a very young band.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it's a very young membership.
your
but-
the leadership is
Right.
very young.
Yeah, you
But
got to be
that-
very young.
But
yeah.
that ensures that we're gonna, hopefully
Yeah.
will last for many, many years
Yeah.
beyond this.
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, a third of our band's under the age of 21.
Right.
Our drummer is. You met our drummer.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
He, what's sophomore?
16, 15, whatever. he is.
Sophomore.
He, if I'm not mistaken, he and I started around the same age. I was about maybe 13, 14-ish when I, first stepped into the snare roller, a mummer roll, and I remember meeting him for the first time. I believe it was 2 years ago at the open house, and
Yeah.
I walk in and I see this kid. I could say that I'm almost 40. I look at this
he's-
kid on
he's
snare,
still
and
a
I'm
kid.
like,
Still a
I'm like,
kid.
my gosh,
Still acts
this
like
is
one.
He's still a kid.
this is, but it's incredible to see, and I mean, looking even across the captains, there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many young
Absolutely.
captains out there too. It's
Yeah.
but then
Jake seems like he's been around for 10 years, and he's what, 19?
well, he grew 2.5
18?
feet inside of 6 months. So
Yeah,
that'll
that
always,
don't-
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like Jake's a veteran. You
Yeah.
got, he's probably, and he's the youngest one. So
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Brandon, our drummer. I mean, he was he was kind of put in a position a handful of years ago now.
Yeah, the 22 parade. Our
you
drummer
know,
disappeared
here,
the 28th of
here,
December.
Here's
I remember you telling me about that. That
So,
it was
like-
just kind of like, here, deal with it.
and
Well, no, it was one of those things. I was sick with COVID. I was down. And
oh god, yeah, that would have been.
I was home. He got grabbed. I'm at home, and I'm telling my vice president, I'm like, grab Alex, put him in captain, have him learn the routine for captain.
Yeah, 2 days before New Year's.
Yeah, this is 28th of December.
That was almost my first year
Yeah.
captain.
So I'm like, learn him captain just in case because at that point I was like, just getting up to go to just going from my bedroom to the bathroom and back. I was drained. I had no energy at all, and I had to have him teach that. And the drummer never showed up. We called, couldn't get a hold of him. Went to his house. He would go to his house. Oh, he's not here. He's not here. We don't know where he's at. So he disappeared 2 days before New Year's, and Brandon was going to play crash cymbal that year, and he was practicing at home, and he did an amazing job. And
Knocked it out of the park.
knocked it out of the park, and I'm like this. I'm like, bud, that's your snare until you don't want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
And you can see his level of
of growth.
growth too. It's been
Yeah,
awesome
even that
to see.
open house you came to here with him a couple years ago when we had our open house,
He
and you two were going back and forth, and I saw you showing him a few things, and
we went to your guys' open
Yeah.
house last year, and he was behind. I looked over. I'm like, oh, he's playing. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
I Evan will tell you, I'll take any opportunity I can to take the
Oh
drum off
yeah.
and hand it
but
off.
They love each other. Him and Brandon and Evan. Yeah.
I had a lot of mentors when I was young, and I'm sure you guys have had the same. There's been that generation kind of above us, so to speak, or before
Oh, yeah.
us, that we're now that generation. I think back on days when I was in Uptown, and it's Jamie Caldwell, Ryan Radcliffe, Johnny Carroll, people like that they were that. I don't want to say older generation, but I think about it now, and they were then my age now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized, so now we're, so
Now
it's
it's your
great.
turn, too.
It's great to see that this band is supporting that and, really developing the town.
yeah.
I mean, hearing you guys at the Serenade, hearing you guys when we do kind of cross paths in parades and whatnot. I mean, it's the level of growth and the level of evolution here.
I mean, and you talk about our youth. I mean, we are they're writing music.
right.
yeah. And
You know
you
what I
heard
mean?
you heard the band while we were setting up today. We were talking about that. Alex was.
Well, no,
talking about,
he had given me a call last maybe Friday,
okay. So,
and so he wrote that last Friday to it's Wednesday now.
and we talked about it Sunday at the pick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going to put this together. Okay.
Oh, he probably didn't even write. He probably didn't have it yet.
He didn't even start.
Yeah.
it.
So
So
if he
since
went
Sunday to
night-
now, he arranged the song, and it sounded pretty good when I was listening from up here. It sounded pretty good.
I was kind of half paying attention. Obviously I'm paying attention to talking to you, but I'm hearing it
Yeah.
behind. I'm like, ooh, that was a neat transition, kind of cool stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's just he's a senior at Delsey. Our music director, Ryan. He's one of the third generations out there, and he's a sophomore at Kingsway. But he's one of those rare talents that can sit there and hear the entire band play, understand what the chord is supposed to be, and go, okay, I can hear someone in the first alto that's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't do that.
No, I mean,
John Winega can do it in a heartbeat. Tommy King can do it in a heartbeat.
Well, John Wernega is.
He's a freak.
And I'm going to make sure this doesn't come out wrong. I think John Wernega is brilliant beyond measure.
Oh, yes.
I've watched his YouTube stuff. Some of his chording and arranging, I'm absolutely blown away. But there are a few of those exist out there, and to your point, you're a music director. It takes a very special. There's a talent, but there's also stuff that you really can't be taught. You just kind of have to. You need to have that core. Talent to be able to do it, and he seems like one of those.
So
and he arranges music too.
yeah, so it's funny this year. I was running our drill the last 3 or 4 practice or weeks, And I'm like, Ryan, if you hear something, let me know, because I can't hear what you hear. So let me. And he did. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do it over again. Let's do this over again. If if you hear something, let me know. We'll do it over. And he did. So that's why I was like, cool. I have that. At least I have that.
Yeah, we worked. Our drill was worked by committee.
So, with regard to social media, kind of put a bow on everything. Where do you see maybe yourself, the band, the social media engagement 1 year, 5 year, 10 years from now? Like, let me even put it. I'll put it different. If give me a Mount Rushmore. There we go. I'm gonna. All right.
Oh no.
See, the problem is I got ADHD sometimes, and I'm like,
We all do, so it's okay. It's probably
like-
why we do this.
yeah, I'm pretty sure my bass drummer Frank and I were having a
That's why you're a
full-blown
drummer.
conversation last night while playing, and Thor goes, "Hey, we're gonna start it. Blah, 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 blah. All right, 1, 2," and I look and go, "Where are we at? what song are we playing?" So, past, present, alive or otherwise, who would you want to have sitting on that couch from the Mum world?
Oh my God.
Give me your Mount Rushmore.
Well, I mean, you have to say, the obvious, right? Bobby Shannon, right?
I knew that one was going to be number
Yeah,
one
that's
because
like-
I heard that story with Pat.
You have to have that.
Yeah, Bobby Shannon was a very strong supporter of us, especially when we were starting this, and unfortunately he wasn't around long enough to really see us to make what we need to make. But
Yeah.
the last time I saw Bob was at the 2300 arena or 2600 arena. What do you guys?
The
had that
Mardi
little-
Gras.
that Mardi Gras thing
Yeah.
we did there, which was wished us the best, and yeah, he was special.
So how many is there? There are 4, right? Is 4 on there?
Whatever you want. I
don't
see.
know
And
if-
I didn't want to ask you this ahead of time. I wanted it to be a real reaction.
I want Jimmy Good to come on. I think
He arguably the nicest
He
guy
is.
I've ever met in my life, and I give Jimmy a lot of credit because
another Quaker scene, I guess.
Jimmy can take a joke very, very well because he understands the heart of the joke.
Yes.
And if Jimmy's listening to this, he understands exactly what I'm saying. But he's one of those guys that he doesn't let the little stuff get to him. He doesn't,
Listen, every
Yeah.
time I've seen him, he's always happy and excited, and selfishly, I want him on because I want to know him more. Obviously, we know his father. If you want to put him on there too, I don't know. Tommy King is probably on that list. Don't know if he'll do it or not. Maybe not now.
We should go get an auditorium, just get all the
I would
Kings.
I would like to get Winega up here too.
John Warnega, pick his brain. He's so methodical. The way he talks, that you're like, I don't know if I'd have much questions really.
I think we just throw one
But-
question at John and we record an hour, and then the next question is another podcast. But no, there's
I think about Brad Bowen.
we'll love to got Ray on here. Ray was so much fun.
Ray.
I love Ray. Ray was so much fun, especially with being an officer with him. Being an officer association, it was so funny because it was. I still remember being in Wildwood and he's working the parade, and he needed to talk to me, and I'm leading my band down the street, and he comes over, starts talking to me about association. I'm like, Ray, let me finish with this, and I'll come back and talk to you. oh yeah.
So, give me your top Mum moment for you personally. What was a time, an instance, a place, whatever it might be, where you were either very proud to be a mummer, or just something that happened that it kind of clicked and you said, "Whoa, this is this."
I don't think it. Oh man, probably.
You think
I
have
I
mine.
know what I'm gonna say. But so when we were in Broomall, we'd we'd parade down. Was it Hessian Ave?
Yes.
After we got back, and the last time we did it, that was big.
Yeah, that was
and
hard.
you knew at that point it was right.
Yeah,
Now,
because
admittedly, I didn't follow that as close as I'd like to. But was it known at that point that was?
No, we knew.
We knew in January.
The whole year. I think back to the Mummies Museum, a concert, and we had it seemed like 100 people playing with us. I mean it. I was like, man, we sound like a band. Like we sound good. Like
It was an all-star band.
It was-
There were so many members.
it was
from
so
many
cool to be
bands.
able to do that and to be a part of that and to hear, just because I mean at that point I'm still kind of green behind the ears, you know what I mean? So I'm just listening to all these, we all know mums can talk forever and ever and ever and ever. But just to kind of hear some of the names and see these people up close, and you're like, you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of get these chills, and you're kind of feeling lucky.
Yeah, I kind of wish we recorded those two rehearsals that we had at the fire hall.
Yeah, I mean, but at the time,
Yeah, I know. I kind of wish we. I mean, there was people that made it out to the rehearsals that weren't able to make it to the concert.
and
We had
some
over
of them,
100 people at a couple of the rehearsals, and it was an amazing sound, and it was so cool. That was very cool.
I have another one. It's also a Broomall. I don't really have much. I don't know. Maybe I can think Jersey, but
You got time. Make
Well,
memories.
The one that stands out for me, where I thought it was that I really enjoyed the most, and it was the 2018 parade.
Okay.
The whole lead up before we went up to do that parade, from when I put that all white baby tuxedo suit on, and I put that full back piece on, and I had so many of the retired mums that were pushing props or with their band in their band jackets coming over to me and going, "Can I get a picture with you? Because this is what a captain's supposed to look like." And then after our performance, Bob Shannon grabbed me on my right shoulder, spun me around, and grabbed me and goes, "This is what a captain's supposed to look like." And that right there, that was by far is one of my fondest memories. I mean, it's one of those memories that it's just like, all right, I belong. This is where I belong.
And admittedly, I've heard that story. I've heard you say it. Alex told it too. I've heard it probably 5, 6, 7 times, and regardless, it's still.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those stories you hear it and you
Yeah.
just get the chills.
Yeah.
And I would even go one further. So I do remember that costume because when I heard the story the first time, I looked it up and I was like, wow, that's a cool back piece.
It was a beautiful costume, beautiful back piece. I still have that. I wore that our entire first year. I wore that costume our entire first year as Jersey, since I didn't have a captain's costume. At that point.
a fun. So for those who know who Jimmy Broomall, for those who know Jimmy Broomall, I cannot for the life of me remember. Maybe it was 2018. Yeah, it had to be because we were all on the bus. Jimmy Broomall comes up on our bus. He starts handing out a flask of blackberry brandy. He goes, "Dear," and to take. I mean, he's a mum legend, right?
Catholics have wine.
So,
Mummers have blackberry brandy.
That was almost like a I don't know, not a passing of the, but like a you're accepted, or I don't know. It was neat. That was a neat, and to say that I took a swig from Jimmy Broomall's flask of blackberry brandy.
And those types of interactions for us, where you with Bob Shannon, you with Mr. Broomall, I've had a few of my own where it's just people that you've heard of for years and who they are, and some of them could be the most humble, unassuming people in the world, but it's they've had those memories too of
Yeah.
generations before them. So it's always interesting, and especially when you get to, like you said, some of the all-star stuff where people just show up,
Right.
and you get a compliment from somebody, you get a pat on the back, and they may or may not think much of it, but it's and then I think forward to what we were talking about, where you've got that younger generation, people where go up to somebody, be like, great job, sounded good,
Right.
did wonderful, all this kind of stuff. And and if I could share my one of those, with, you've got Bob, Mr. Broomall,
Go ahead.
New Year's Day 2024 candy, where we're in our rehearsal spot. I'm frustrated, jacked up on Red Bull, trying not to be, just all the normal rehearsal stuff. And some guy comes up to me, goes, "Oh, you're Timmy, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh man, he's like, "Drums sound great," and thank you very much. I'm always appreciative of any of that. But he sounded like he had a little more knowledge than just some guy on the street of like, "Oh, you're a," and I didn't catch his name at first. And I went over to Thor, and Thor told me, "Go ask Bob Danford." So I went over to Bob Danford. It was Joe Strength from Furco String Band. Now, Joe Strength is the snare drummer for all of Furco's winning years. He's that sound. And I know who he is for certain. So the fact that, he felt it enough to come find me and
Wow.
I heard it afterward, and I was, but it's that kind of stuff, and I love watching you guys with the younger membership, developing them, bringing them up, learning all kinds of goofy words from Brandon on his reels.
So to maybe bring this together to the Jersey is just hearing our peers like yourself, and big names within our hobby come up to you and say, "Man, we're looking out for you. We really enjoy what you're doing. We see what you're doing, and we appreciate you." And that means so much more than I think anybody really knows.
Yeah. No, it means the world.
Talk about the pride thing. That's when that comes on.
I mean, our goal every year, just like what you were saying earlier with theirs, like, do better than we did last year. And no matter where the chips fall, as long as we did better than we did last year, and we know we did better than last year, I'm happy. And we got our 12th place this year, and I'm ecstatic for that. Now we need to
Stay there.
do better than we did last year.
You need to stay there.
And we need to maintain, if not grow. And we are going to take steps to go with it. And, I mean, these themes that we have, I mean, these are all, I mean, our pirate theme, Brandon put that in.
Right.
Our spy theme, Mike put that in. And, I mean, there was a couple other members that had involvement with it as well. This year's theme, Mike and Aaron. They're two young kids.
Yeah.
These are young kids' themes, and we're running with them.
That's the future of of this whole thing, is the younger generation.
Yeah.
I mean, we can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Right.
Uptown's fortunate that a lot of our, I don't want to call them retirees, but guys who did it for a very, very long time and maybe took a step back. They're not marching anymore. They're all still hanging out. They're all still very supportive, and it's almost like that proud parent moment when they watch our generation do something that they were doing 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's big.
And it's a proud moment for everybody involved. And
Oh,
again,
yeah.
I'm sure you guys have that, where it's
Oh, yeah.
you have those moments of watching the younger generation do stuff. And because I remember Serenade this past year, when you were playing your Serenade tune. I was like, sounded really good. Who is it? When I see this kid, call him a kid, standing in the middle of the band and directing and putting it all together, I'm like, hey, is he filling in for somebody? Like, no, he wrote it, he arranged it, he's doing, he's all of it. It blows me away to see the talent.
Oh yeah, Ryan's amazing, and we had two songs that we played at the Serenade for the Spy theme, and they were both amazing, and they were great songs, and they were both arranged by them, and couldn't have been prouder.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the moments there that I cherish the most, is watching our young move forward with our band and taking us in a new direction and just having everybody be willing to work with it, because not everybody's willing to take direction from somebody, especially someone who's still in high school.
Right.
Right.
You know, and it takes a lot to do that, and I'm so proud of our members that just know that the end goal is to be better than we were before we came in. So we're better every day. It's if you make everything better one day at a time, it's only going to get better overall.
And I'll wrap this on my end, and I'll let you wrap it formally by saying you got 11th.
Yeah.
I'm in banking by day, and I'm in finance. Personally, I can count, and I gotta be real careful how far I go into this one.
Yes, considered next week's episode.
So my 6-year-old daughter, she does numbers, she does counting, this, that, and the other, and I showed her everything, and she goes, what? And I'm trying to remember. There's no number 2, right? It went from 1 to 3, I believe.
Yeah.
So she looked at everything. She goes, "You got 4," and I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Where's number 2?" And I said, "You could call Mr. Thor and ask him that. You can let him." So no, I appreciate you guys having me up here. I appreciate.
No, we appreciate you coming all the way.
We appreciate the partnership. So it's down here.
Down here, up, whatever.
When you come up, we
yeah.
go down. Yeah.
We go up to everybody.
When are you having open house? April?
That's an excellent question. So
it was April last year, I think.
Yeah,
right?
we were talking about that last night. Just got to nail a date down.
Okay, cool.
Easter's goofy this year because it's like in the middle of April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's like the third weekend of 4 weekends, and so it's depending on when this airs, February 22nd. We have our country line dancing once again. I believe April 12th is our next bingo.
Okay.
I believe that's your mom's birthday as well.
Yes.
Yes. I'll have to send her up there again.
I don't know what else. I'm sure we uptownstringband.com, Facebook, so all the stuff that I say.
I'll
at
tag you
bingo.
guys on this. Like I
yeah.
always
It'll
do.
be tagged.
So
Yep.
All right, Tim.
Do you want to switch back, or are you okay to wrap up?
He looks good over there. I'll wrap up from over here.
Tim,
I figured out how to get comfortable, so I'm good now.
You look comfortable over there.
You look very comfortable. Well, Tim, thank you very much for coming up.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate that. And I mean,
Yeah, man. Thanks for bringing the
hot dog.
Your guys' hot dog. This is I think Thor was a hot dog, wasn't he?
Yes,
Thor was hot
that
dog?
was one of our pit suits. That was Sax's. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, and I'll say his name because I know he's going to watch this. That's Jason Riker's
Okay.
hat, and I only know that because I had to take his inside out to figure it out.
And bring in your hometown flag.
Yep.
So-
It's our banner, so to speak.
That's-
So
that's-
Yes,
your-
I've seen
your
that up there.
unofficial
Which is a good
banner.
thing.
Yeah, it was neat seeing that when Thor was announcing the prizes. So it was fun. So yeah, hey man, thanks again.
Thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
very
We'll
much.
see you very, very soon.
Hope so.
Yep.
And so yeah, thank you everybody for watching the first episode of the second season, whatever episode this is going to be.
It's the first one recorded. Hopefully, it's the first one.
Well, it's gonna be a first one. I don't know if it's 18 or 17. I don't know which one it was, but
I think you're thinking way too far into it. It's
me too.
It's episode 1, season 2.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go. Whatever Sammy's was, yours is next. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.